nodding your head because you agree that yes, ego is a little the future, first of all, is a figment of imagination. Tell me if I'm lying. The subtle art of not giving a beep. Yeah, you will feel sad that the story has finished. That is how great of a storyline it is. Can we get a drum roll for this book, because I think it deserves a drum roll? What's good, B hustlers? I go by the name of B, hence the B in B Talks. If you've just stumbled upon my channel, I create content around entrepreneurship, mindset, self-development, on all that good stuff. I hope you'll be sticking around by clicking that subscribe button along with that notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a new video. But anyways, let's get straight into today's video. Yes guys, I'll be sharing a few books that I recommend you guys to read, especially during these times where we're social distancing, self-isolating. This is a perfect time to pick up a book and be able to just get in one with your thoughts, and also to just read a good book that will leave you feeling rather uplifted in current times. I understand due to the current times, it might not be as easy to go on Amazon and purchase the books I'm recommending. I'm hoping, obviously, you're able to make use of ebooks, for example, and also Audible would be perfect. But anyways, let me get into recommending some of these books. So my first book that I recommend you guys to look into, to absolutely download right now on Audible or on ebook, however it may be. It's not a book that you read and you just leave on the shelf. It's a book that you have to keep going back to, simply because the principles of what is being underlined is things that we have to continuously remind ourselves. Can we get a drum roll for this book, because I think it deserves a drum roll? This is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I am of the opinion that a lot of self-development books kind of repetitive, in my opinion. Don't shoot me, but if you agree with me, leave a comment down in the comment section, because I know you do. But this book is one of a kind. The book in itself advocates for respecting small, minute behaviors and habits within ourselves. Now, I know you're thinking, what the hell does that mean? The idea is that we develop habits not because of the major steps that we take, but the small steps that we take. It's really emphasized in a way of regarding those small steps, because they both impact you negatively and positively. They're probably the ones hindering you from reaching your potential, for instance. This book is also very easy to read, honestly, and I'm going to probably repeat this a lot in this video. He just writes things in such easy, simple way that anyone can consume, anyone can understand, and anyone who picks up this book, I'm telling you now, you will be absolutely getting up the next morning saying, you know what, Jeff, you're the MVP. My next book that I'm recommending that you download today whilst in self-isolation, guys, that would be perfect to read, and it is The Millionaire Next Door. It's based on a study, and it's based on a study of millionaires next door, pretty much. Not to like brag or anything, I was once regarded a millionaire next door. The people that recommended that I read this book was actually investors of mine. Whilst working with them, they said, you know what, B, you're a bit like a millionaire next door. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because I am not a millionaire, man. I'll let you know that I am not a millionaire. I mean, I'm working on it. They were like, no, you constitute what the research is based on. What we think and what we consume as being a person who is a millionaire is not what the research came to discover. In fact, the people that did the research, they had their own assumptions as to what a millionaire is. And when they contacted these millionaires that they were going to be doing the study on, they set up sort of caviar. They brought them the most, expensive wine and everything. And none of them touched any of the things that they put out for them. So the people conducting the study were just taken back, as in, what, like, we've spent like a fortune right now trying to basically prepare this day for you guys to make it as comfortable as possible, and going off our assumption of what you guys may be like because you're millionaires. It was actually hilarious to read. Obviously, I'm not going to explain why, because part of the research, they asked these questions as to Why did you guys not have any of the food we put out for you? Why did you not have the drinks that we put out for you? And almost everyone who took part in the research gave an insight into what actually makes a millionaire. If you're into sort of books that are factual, based on sort of studies and research, and everything really that's written in here is taken from people's experiences, reading their understanding of life, the world, and so on. This is one of those types of books, and I highly recommend it. I've enjoyed it, and yeah, I think y'all should read it too. Millionaire Next Door. Especially if you're trying to be a millionaire next door, you definitely need to read this book. So my next book is a book that I don't actually have on me because I borrowed it to my sister. Did I see it again? No. These days, whenever I want to read this book, because it's an all-time favorite of mine, I have to use my iPad to read it, and I'm not necessarily a person who enjoys reading books on a screen. I still prefer the old-fashioned way of reading an actual book. But anywho, we move and we forget about that, but it's alright. The book that I'm referring to is The Alchemist, guys. It's The Alchemist by my man, what's his name again? What's his name though?
My man, innit?
My man. This book was popular for a hot minute. I know you've heard of this book, and if you haven't heard of this book, like, have you been living under a rock? Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho. It's just, I see the coal and then that whole part, I just don't know how they connect, so I'm not able to say his name properly. I really would love to know how to actually say his last name. All and everybody that is prominent out here, you know, you've got the Oprahs, the Will Smiths, and all of them, and yeah, and many more. When this book first came out, everyone was literally recommending this book, and let's just say I read this book in 2 days. Okay, maybe a week. All right, a week. But I swear, it's a book that if you pick up, you will not put back down. You will feel sad that the story has finished. That is how great of a storyline it is. But that's not the only thing I liked about this book. There was message to a lot of what Paulo was sharing in this particular story. You get messages of encouragement to, of course, follow your dreams. Like, what are we on this earth for besides following our dreams and following the things that make us happy? And of course, making sure you work towards those things. You fight the battles of self-doubt throughout it. You fight the battles of, you know, disbelief here and there. You fight the battles of people wanting to take it away from me and so on. These are all the messages that is delivered within this little book, because it's not a lot of pages. Because I'm telling you now, the only thing that I was saddened by this book was it finishing when I finished reading it, and I know you're gonna feel the same. I'm just gonna let you know now. My next book, guys, of course, I know you're enjoying this video, so make sure you're leaving a thumbs up, okay? If I wasn't sharing this book, guys, I think I'd be doing you Bhustlers a disservice right now, because it is an absolute ace of a book to read, and it is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep. Yep. Maybe you've seen it around, maybe you've been recommended this book before and you've never really gotten around to reading it, and you've thought, yes, no, yes, no. Well, I'm saying, listen, it's a yes from me. This is a good book to read, especially in these times of social media. It's a book everyone has to read, and everyone has to read it because we all do these things, especially on social media, me included, where maybe perhaps I jump on a bandwagon because I think, you know, I don't want to get slack for it, or people getting slack for the most simplest thing of, you know, having a different opinion, for example. This book goes into all that kind of stuff. This is a book that really allows you to be quite conscious of yourself, conscious of me. What I quite enjoyed as well about this book is about accepting things, because in today's age as well, we just seem to have a hard time accepting certain things in our lives. Whilst I'm somebody who advocates for positivity and doing good and being good and everything like that, I'm also quite realistic to the fact that sometimes you do feel negative, and we have this tendency where we want to fight that feeling, and we're always trying to rush to get only positive experiences, and that's just not life. You know, in life, it's composed of good and bad. and both in its own right actually contribute to who you become and how you become. You can't have one without the other, and that's how I look at it. Sometimes you need a reminder that you are normal. Everything you're going through is normal and it's okay. It will come, it will pass, and life is made of good, bad, positive, negative. Obviously you can make improvements, you can work towards doing the things that make you feel a little bit more uplifted and everything like that, but the reality of it is, do not force yourself, or do not live in this other reality where this doesn't exist, because it does exist. I'm not sure if I've made any sense, but I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what I have taken from this book. My next book, which I also don't have on me, unfortunately, because I just don't know where this book has gone. I believe I have a book thief somewhere, honestly, because the way my books have been going missing, and it's also the good books as well. So this person, clearly, whoever's stealing my books, has really good taste in books. Do you know what I mean? They could have at least left it so I can do my book recommendation and then steal it after. But no, the book that I'm referring to is The Power of Now, guys. This absolutely book right here is the ish, okay? Even by the title, it's quite self-explanatory why this book is a book you need in your life right now. For me personally, I have to read The Power of Now just to remind me that, listen, B, come back, experience the moment, live in the moment. That is the reality. The future, first of all, is a figment of imagination. Tell me if I'm lying. It's not real. It hasn't happened. Some people live in the past, and that can become quite unhealthy. That can impact your day-to-day interaction with the world as it is. It's not your fault, it's not my fault, but it's just the times that we live in where everything is fast-paced. Everything is about being on your toes and thinking about the next move. I needed a book like this because being an entrepreneur is, a lot of times, yes, we are looking at the future and where we want to go, and we're goal setting and all this sort of stuff, and I absolutely believe in that, but there is a thin line in stepping into that world and actually doing what you have to do, setting those things, but can you come out of it and proceed to live in the moment is the question. And quite frankly, that is a very hard thing to do for a lot of us. And this book just reminds you what matters, and what matters is the now, and the now only. And I suppose why I think everyone should have this book in their life is because after you click off this video, you will tune out and you will move back into whatever reality that you like to force yourself into and feel comfortable in, and forget about the now. And for me, I use this book to remind me that it's something that I have to put into practice. Whether you believe it or not, whether you think you need the book or not, just purchase the book, just download the book and just start reading it. This is at the top of the list in terms of books that I've been able to help me in my life, and I know it will do the same in your life. The next book that I highly recommend you guys to download and read during these times is by the one and only Ryan Holiday. First of all, just from the title, that is the ego the enemy? Absolutely. In most cases in our lives, the ego is the enemy, and we all have the ego in us. Sometimes our egos can be the decider in whether we make it or break it. And I know you're watching this video and you're nodding your head because you agree that yes, ego is a little in my opinion, most of Ryan's books really push you to look within. What is wrong? And this is one of those. Ego is the enemy absolutely pushes you to look within yourself. It's not about anybody else. It's not about, oh, that person and what they've done. A lot of times we have this perception of ourselves, sometimes can be quite grandeur, you know? And this book just reminds you to come back down, you know? Be humble. Sit down. Me, personally, I believe that to remain grounded no matter what in life sets you apart from people who, allow ego to get in the way. And it also can determine how successful you become as an individual, in my personal opinion. And I think for me, reading this book is always a great reminder to absolutely understand that there's nothing great about me. There's nothing special about me. Anything that is given can be taken within a few seconds. And I absolutely appreciate this book for it. So this brings me to my last book that I am recommending you guys to add to your reading list, and it's my girl Michelle, Mrs. Obama. I know she doesn't know me, but what does that matter? Like, in my head, I know her. I sound a bit dumb right now, but Michelle Obama had to come in, okay? She had to come in the list. Former First Lady. It took me a month to read this book just because life was getting in the way. And, you know, she came to London and she had that sit down with Oprah, and they just like, it was beautiful. If you're looking for a biography to read on someone, this is the biography to read. She delves into her life being the First Lady, coming from being just a normal person to getting into the White House and having everything being done for her, where, you know, she makes a move, somebody else makes a move with her. What I was able to take from this book as well is just the courageousness of it. She was very honest and transparent in this book, which I appreciated, because I always find with a lot of these biographies as well, I always get a hint of, you know what, you're not telling the whole truth. But I didn't get a sense of that from this book. I felt like she was literally just laying it bare. She even shares the story about her relationship with Obama in the early stages and getting a child as well, giving birth and all this sort of stuff, which, you know, you just don't know about her. Also, just reading the challenges and how she's overcome some of these things was quite encouraging to me as a young woman. It's humorous as well. She's quite funny in this. I kind of sense her humor in this book. I like humor, you know. I like humor. I think laughter is the best medicine. Let's just say that. But yeah, if you're looking for a biography to read on anyone, I absolutely recommend this book, Becoming Michelle. But that's it, guys. That's it for this video, okay? If you have enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed me doing these book recommendations, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, letting me know as well in the comment section, what is it you've enjoyed about this video? Do you want to maybe see more videos of me talking about books that I recommend? I want to know. I want to know. Leave them in the comment section. There's no music playing. See, this is why I have to end this video, okay, guys? Please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to click that notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a video. And of course, continue being hustlers.